What's up, YouTube? So we back with another one. And today was a crazy day in the market, so we just gonna get right into it. This is the recap for this week. Um, and it's basically the same story. What's performing this week or year to date? I'm sorry. This is the year to date FinViz screener, so we can see the story is still tech, it's still energy. We can see some utilities and real estate performing as well, but it's kind of the same story from last week when we got into from last week. Is this is the year to date, but this is how the S&P performed this past week, and we can see it was a big sell off this week. The technology sector got hit hard, and it was mainly today. Energy still performed, consumer defensive. And that big tech sell off, granted, the tech stocks you see and how they've been running, like last week we seen a stock like AMD. I believe AMD was up 145% when we looked at this year to date last week, and now it has a pullback to 117. But granted, 117 is still an amazing for a stock to do in a single year. And granted, we're only in June. So that's yeah. So basically, that's how I perform this week. It was a jobs report today, and it was good, but people are actually didn't like that good news because they felt that now they're going to have to raise interest rates, and that falls down to the consumer and less spending. So that's some people are saying that's kind of what might have triggered this sell off today. So this past week, we took profit on ServiceNow, and we got into plays, the Google and Walmart play, and these are just the plays that I've been in since starting this options channel. So we took profit on ServiceNow, and I had showed you guys the arm, and then we entered in Google and Walmart here. So just showing you guys why I took profit on ServiceNow. Here's the chart on the daily. So we had got in on this blue line, and it had a great move up, and I think we got up to like 120 something percent, and I had already marked out that key level, this gray line at 124. I said if it ever in my head I had already said if it ever drops down below, I'll go ahead and take some profit on ServiceNow. And if we had two contracts, we could have just took one at 100% and let the rest ride, but we only had one contract, so I decided to take profit there when it broke down below with strong selling pressure. And I was fine with the profit we took there. Moving on. Here's the Google play on the daily chart as well. I had this 350 level mapped out that I have been watching, and then this gap. So when it came down and fell here, I just paid attention and seeing how it bounced off the same key area where it had that gap. And once it had a little bit of push up, I decided to enter in that Google play, just keeping it fairly simple. I don't like to overcomplicate things when I look at the charts at all. And same thing for Walmart. It had a key level that we have been mapped out, this 117 level. But it kept pushing through. I know this was on the watch list last week. So when it kept pushing through, and then it broke down below the 200-day moving average, which is the green moving average, signaling that this stock is on the upside, on a uptrend basically. And it had a little bit of indecision right there, but once it broke back towards the 200-day moving average, once it broke back above with bullish engulfing of this small red candle, it had a strong bullish move, so that's bullish engulfing. I decided to go ahead and jump in the Walmart play that we had on the watch list. So that was basically the moves that we made this week. It's quite we did a little more than last week. I know last week all we did was jump into the NVIDIA play, and so these are all the plays we're in: the Walmart, the NVIDIA, the Google, and Meta. Robinhood is part of a wheel strategy that I had talked about on selling puts and doing that whole wheel strategy. So I don't really cover that one too much, but we've been focusing on buying calls and trying to get on some of that upside strength the market has been showing. And you can see today we got hit with the news that came out today. Two plays that went down 20% in a day. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. So if we just go and look at those two plays, Meta and NVIDIA, right here, we're looking at NVIDIA, and we can see this strong red candle right here. I have 212 already mapped out as a key level, and it broke strongly below that. So now I'm just watching to see what it does. I should, it's not down 50% yet. That would be my exit percentage, but I'm just mapping out or watching. Why is that there? um Basically, if it's to, this is the 50-day moving average, so either it can hold up this 50-day or become stagnant in this area and around this 212 area and see what it does. But if it does break below this purple 50-day moving average, I'm fine with just going ahead and exiting the play. So that's our outlook for NVIDIA this week. And then the Meta play was down 20%. So Meta already has a lot of money allocated towards spending on AI. And Google announced something this week. They're raising, I guess they're selling some of their shares to like Berkshire Hathaway, just other. They're selling like 80 billion in shares, I believe. Um, I gotta research better on exactly how they're doing that, because the market sold off when they got that news, and Meta pretty much did the same thing. Once they said they were exploring ways on allocating more spend or an increasing money to, or raising not raising money, but finding ways to find more money to spend more on AI. And I guess investors don't really like that because it affects, profit margins and stuff like that. So even though with that and the news today, it still respected our key level. You can see when it came down, it pushed right back up. That's that bottom wick that's indicating that. And if we just look on the hourly, once it crossed below our 590 level, it kind of bounced right back up there and closed right above it. So we'll just be watching that for this week. And oh, let me go back. Sorry. So we just go back to the stock screen. So yeah, that's pretty much what we're in right now. So we just gonna keep watching those. Keep watching those. So yeah, that was from today. And then let's just move on. So let me show you guys the watch list for this week. So we're gonna watch ANET and we're watching TSM. So what I see on ANET is that ANET keeps rejecting this area, but it also respects this area as well. You can see that wick right there. And it's also the 50-day moving average, which is dynamic support as well. So we're looking for a confluence that ANET wants to bounce off this level with some strength. We're just going to watch it this week and see what it does, because it could keep falling. Nobody knows, but we just like to respect what the candle does and respect our levels that we already have marked out. And then on Taiwan Semi, it's at its all-time high. Let's see. If you can see, you guys, I like to keep my chart clean. That's one thing I always like to do. So I don't want to get over confused when I'm looking at my charts at all. So if we just looking at Taiwan Semi, it had a all-time high, and then so it would be like a break, and it's retesting this area. So we're gonna pay attention to this area, and we're just gonna watch it this week to see what it does, because you can see we have our other key level at 390, an area that had resistance at. It came back, and it was a little stagnant in this area, and it broke it, and it just retested that level for a minute, and was just stagnant between these two levels that we have marked out. So we just gonna see basically what it does in those areas this week. Like I said, we don't really try to force it. We just watch what goes on. So those are our two stocks on the watch list for this week. And just because something is not on the watch list doesn't mean it doesn't do something during the week that we possibly get in on the play. Like Google wasn't on the watch list last week, but we still got in a Google play. So um, it's always something to learn, but for this week, I wanted to put reminders. Understand the tailwinds that affect your play. So basically, how the how the whole market was red Friday, just because broader news that didn't necessarily affect one single stock. So that might be opportunities to look for key levels or look for plays that you have been watching, and looking for opportunities to get in those. And then just trust your setup. When you see all that red, it can be easy to want to sell and want to get out of the play. You might get a little fearful, but just trust what you already have marked out on the chart. And whatever your stop loss is, just respect that and trust your setup. Don't be scared when you see that red, because it's a part of the game. And oh, that's 10 minutes. I feel like that is a good pace to be at for these videos. And I appreciate y'all for tuning in if you still here. I hope y'all notice I'm trying to just better up this thing a little bit. It's still been little technical difficulties that we've been dealing with just on this whole thing. Um, trying to, like, I think my camera has been laggy when I record these videos. We had audio difficulties. Um, I got the lights in here now, so we just gonna keep trying to progress on this channel along the whole way, and hopefully y'all make some money, all learn about this market, keep getting better with it, and just add another source of income. Let's not sugarcoat why we trading options. It's not because we like looking at charts all day and like I mean, it's cool, you know, once you get to understanding it and whatnot, researching and understanding how companies make money, understanding the companies, all that's cool. But we're here to, you know, add another source of income and add some freedom to our lives. So hopefully we all can continue on that journey, and I'll catch y'all on the next one next week. Appreciate you.